just like our own history, has seen some pretty messed up things. This video, I want to talk about 5 places in Westeros that definitely would be haunted if ghosts and curses existed in the world of Ice and Fire, which they very well may be, we can't really say for sure. So for this video, I want you to suspend your disbelief and assume that ghosts do exist in this world and that they're created the normal way that Hollywood would have us believe, either unfinished business or from some really horrific shit happening, such as murder. And by that definition, there's actually quite a few places in Westeros that aren't on this list that could also be haunted. Number 5. The Whispers. The Whispers is the ruined castle on Crackclaw Point. It was the ancient seat of House Crabbe and has a unique history. So Sir Clarence Crabbe, allegedly, helped the castle earn its name the Whispers by his habit of bringing back the decapitated heads of his enemies and bringing them back to life. So he would go out, he would bring back a severed head to his castle, his wife would kiss the head, and it would magically come back to life. And he brought back the heads of lords, pirates, wizards, and even a king. And when they came back to life, they would actually give him advice, because if I was your enemy and you decapitated me and brought my head back to your castle, the first thing I'd want to do is just to give you advice. And when they talked, the sound they made was a whispering sound. These could be the stories of a madman imagining things, or simply, as it is explained, the whispering was the sound of the sea pouring into holes made in the cliff where the castle sits. However, if ghosts do exist, the amount of dismembered heads he brought to his home instead of letting their bodies rest in one piece could have created them. If he also managed to bring them back to life, it could make the haunting that much worse. Oh, and sacrifices also might happen on this land, as they say they water their trees with blood, which is how you get your shit haunted. 101 people, come on. Lastly, this area seems to have a creature that steals bad children, breeding with the little girls and eating the little boys. And this might be a story just to get the children to behave, but still kind of freaky. Number 4. The Great Hill of High Heart. When the Andals came to Westeros, they were very intent on conquering. High Heart contained around 31 weirwoods the Children of the Forest had carved into. When Eric the Kingslayer, an Andal invader, saw these trees, he sought to cut them down. The first men and Children of the Forest fought against the Andals to preserve their home. But the Andals proved too strong, and though they tried to defend their holy grove, all were slain. It is now claimed the ghosts of the Children of the Forest still haunt the hill by night. It's still referred to as a haunted hill in modern Westeros time, and the people of the Riverlands shun this place. Number 3. Hardhome. Hardhome is an unnerving place. 600 years before the beginning of the books, Hardhome was destroyed in one night. No one has any idea what happened. The Night's Watch saw fire so intense from the wall, they thought that the sun was rising from the north. When the Night's Watch went to Hardhome to discover what had happened, they found a nightmare level of devastation. Charred trees, burned bones, and swollen corpses. Then there was the matter of the caves above the town. Ever since the incident, they became known as the Screaming Caves, and from them, blood-chilling shrieks can always be heard. Both wildlings and men of the Night's Watch avoided this place for 600 years after this catastrophe, believing that ghosts that had a taste for human blood, demons, and ghouls haunted the place. About 600 years after the catastrophe, the wildlings did go back to Hardhome, and we know something really horrific happened there. So if it wasn't haunted 600 years ago, it's definitely fucking haunted now. Number 2. Harrenhal. You would be hard-pressed to find a location more potentially cursed and haunted than Harrenhal. This castle was constructed about 300 years before modern Westeros time by an Ironborn king, Harren the Black, who ruled the Riverlands at the time. Harren began the construction of Harrenhal because he wanted a magnificent castle to rule the Iron Islands and Riverlands from. The construction of this castle took over 40 years, and the people that worked on it suffered greatly. Thousands of captives died in the quarries chained to sledges, or died laboring on the huge towers. So already not a great start. After those atrocities, Harren's castle was finished right before Aegon the Conqueror came to Westeros. Believing none could penetrate his castle, Harren hid with his sons and loyal subjects inside Harrenhal, which was a big mistake. Aegon, of course, had a dragon, and dragons is something Harren discounted. When night fell, Aegon took his dragon high up into the clouds. Then he descended towards the castle and bathed it in black fire with swirls of red. Hemp, straw, wool, wood, bread, salted beef, and grain all caught fire. Harren's men also caught fire. Screaming, the Iron Men were enveloped by flames as they ran across the yards and fell from the wall walks to die upon the ground. The men outside the castle saw this event and reported that the towers of Harrenhal glowed red like 5 great candles. And then, just like candles, they began to twist and melt. Harren met the same fate as his men. Him and his sons died in the fires that consumed his castle, and with them, House Hoare died. So now, besides thousands of people dying constructing this castle, we have hundreds and hundreds of people that burned alive inside the castle, which is just how you haunt the shit out of a place. It's said that Harren and his sons still walk the halls of Harrenhal on fire, and if anyone gazes upon them, they also catch on fire. But that's not even the tip of the terrible things that have happened at Harrenhal. One house has never remained in control of Harrenhal for long. Even Jaime states, "Every man who holds this castle seems to come to a bad end. The mountain, the goat, even my father." Some think Harren put a curse on Harrenhal. It's believed Harren mixed human blood into the stonework, and a combination of all the deaths there and Harren's own ego created a curse that now exists at the castle. A curse that prevents any lord from holding Harrenhal indefinitely. And this curse seems to be very real. Plenty of houses that have taken over Harrenhal have simply died out. The second house to rule Harrenhal was House Coharis, and they became extinct during Aenys I's reign. Gargon, known as Gargon the Guest, loved to take lord's right of first night. Gargon would later be gelded in the castle and murdered, ending his house. Next, House Harroway took over Harrenhal. This house supported the Targaryen king after Aenys I, Maegor I. Well, Maegor married a female from their family, and when she gave birth to a monster, Maegor was convinced it was because she had cheated on him. He then had every single member of her house that he could find executed. Then the castle passed to House Towers, specifically Walton Towers, who won it by slaughtering a lot of people. Walton died soon after his injuries, and 2 centuries later, his house failed. The castle then passed to House Strong during the reign of Jaehaerys I. House Strong has a lot of history, but the Lord of Harrenhal, Lionel Strong, and his son Harwin both died in a fire at Harrenhal. The younger Strong son then became the Lord of Harrenhal, and at the end of the Dance of the Dragons, he was executed for betraying the king, and so ended the main branch of House Strong. Next, the castle went to House Lolston, and this house did a bit better, but they had a reputation for black deeds. One particular woman from this house, Danelle, was called Mad Danelle and was said to bathe in the blood of children to remain young. This house eventually fell thanks to Danelle and her use of black magic. Next, the castle went to House Went, who for some reason didn't see any of this history as a huge fucking red flag. House Went consisted of knights that had once been loyal to the previous owners, but then defeated the Mad family. The Wents held it until Joffrey stripped it from them and gave it to Janos Slynt. Then it was taken from him and given to Peter Baelish, and Baelish had a few things to say about Harrenhal himself. Harrenhal has withered every hand to touch it. Cavernous halls and ruined towers, ghosts, ruinous heat, impossible to garrison, and there's the small matter of a curse. Number 1, finally the Wall, more specifically the Night Fort. To begin with, there's a high criminal population at the Wall. There are people that went there that weren't criminals, of course, but there's a large population of people that didn't go there because they gave out free hugs and loved ponies. So in the first place, having a large criminal population is a recipe for disaster, and disaster has definitely happened at the Wall over the centuries, specifically, again, the Night Fort. First, the Night Fort was the base of operations for a black brother, to be known as the Night's King, who took an other for a lover and ruled as king and queen. They committed terrible atrocities during their rule, including human sacrifice. When his reign was finally ended, his name was wiped from the history books, perhaps because of the awful things he did. The Night Fort is also where the Rat Cook story takes place, where a cook for the Night's Watch fed a visiting Andal king the king's own son in a pie, and for breaking guests right, the cook was turned into a giant rat that fed on its own young for eternity. Then there's a girl, Dany Flint, that disguised herself as a boy to join the Night's Watch and then was found out and raped and murdered by her black brothers. Brave Dany Flint is supposed to still walk the Night Fort. Then there's things that haven't been explained that have been seen or battled at the Night Fort, such as the boy that fought the thing that came in the night. We still really don't know what that thing is, but it terrifies the shit out of me. A man claimed to have seen hellhounds fight there. And then we can't forget Mad Axe, who butchered his black brothers in the night while they slept with an axe. So if any place in Westeros is going to be haunted, it's going to be the Night Fort. We have a girl that was raped and murdered. We have human sacrifice. We have a guy that went in the middle of the night and just started butchering his fellow black brothers. We have hellhounds. We have things that came in the night. It's just not a really happy place, and thankfully this castle has been abandoned for about 2 centuries. Beyond those 5 places I talked about, there's a lot of other places that could potentially be haunted in Westeros if ghosts and curses existed. So which is your pick for possibly the most haunted place in Westeros? You can write your thoughts in the comment section below. Please like this video, subscribe, come back for more Game of Thrones, Star Wars, comic videos every week. And this video is part of a collection of videos I'm doing for October, which are all dark, sad, disturbing, Halloween-ish themed videos.